Good afternoon, everyone. So finally, we have all our eminent speakers in, in this room, starting with a very interesting roundtable on generational reset, building a unified journey from Gen X to Gen Alpha. So we have eminent moderator today. Let's give a big round of applause for Mr. Bhavesh Joshi, Vice President, ETP International Private Limited, and Neev Ahuja, Director, Strategic Initiatives, ETP Group. Huge round of applause. Okay, so then we have our speakers for the day for this roundtable are Mr. Saurav Nirmal, GM Retail, Donier Industries Limited. Huge round of applause. Let's the applause continue for each speaker as I pronounce them. Then we have Mr. Pushkar Kumar, Cluster Head, Himalaya Wellness. Then we have Ms. Jyoti VK, General Counsel and Senior VP, ABFRL. Yeah. Then we have Mr. Kunal Mehta, Head IT, Arvind Fashions. Then we have Mr. Balaji Chinnaswamy, CEO, VNH Naidu Hall Family Store. Next we have Mr. Sohil Khwaja, Regional Head West, Apollo Pharmacy. Next we have Mr. Rishabh Jain, AVP IT, Siaram Silks Mill Limited. And last but not the least, we have Mr. Darpan Kapoor, Chairman, KRPVT and Knockout. So over to you, Bhavesh, sir. With that, you can start your video.
Good afternoon, everyone.
One unified platform for retail and e-commerce. ETP Unified Commerce Solutions. ETP is a future-ready SaaS company built for retail and e-commerce. Our AI-powered cloud-native platform, ETP Unify, is built for agility, scale, and security. Our e-commerce management platform, Ordazzle, helps to effortlessly manage and scale your multi-channel e-commerce operations in one place. What sets ETP apart isn't just technology, it's the ability to combine robust enterprise capabilities with modern, agile solutions. ETP's asset-light platforms reduce IT overhead and free you to focus on what truly matters, growing your business, delighting your customers, and staying ahead in a fast-changing landscape.
Great. I promise that's the only thing I'm going to talk about ETP. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome. Welcome to this session. I really thank you all for being part of this discussion forum, the roundtable on generational reset. I think everyone here I've met, I think except Jyoti probably, I've not said hello to you. Good afternoon, Jyoti. And Rishabh, I've not met Rishabh as well. I think the idea is to have an open forum, open discussion in terms of what we look at the customer's journey, customer experiences, which some of you may be having some common experiences in terms of the product and the brands which you all probably carry, and some of you may have your own different experiences. So, over last decade or so, I think we've been talking about omni-channel to phygital to, experience-led retailing, basically. But there is something deeper which is happening, and where really, if you look at some of the retail businesses and brands, the shopping basket actually may be having something which is influenced by a Gen Alpha, being decided by someone in Gen Z who is basically an impulse shopper, someone like a Gen Y shopper who is basically looking at convenience, maybe price, and a Gen X who's basically going to pay the money finally, looking at the trust and value. So all of them have their own different ways of looking at product discovery, deciding, and then buying actually. So I think the idea is to be able to, go around the table on some of these points and have an open discussion and see, if there is anything which we find commonality as well as something which we can all see as a trend coming up. So how are we prepared from that perspective? It's great to have a combination of both business and IT. Some of you have got a chance to work like with Kunal for maybe 20 years plus now. I think we've been knowing each other. And I've got a chance to work with ETP for last 25, 26 years now, and working purely on the demand side of retail and e-commerce. So I'm very excited to kind of moderate this discussion and primarily go through different areas of how generational reset would really be helping and looking at the customer's journey basically, and see how we can unify it across channels if at all. I joined with Neve. Neve is our director, part of the leadership team of ETP. And Neve basically is based out of Singapore, so he brings in some experiences of Asia as well for us to reflect upon and see how we can really add value here. So really speaking, a few anchor points in terms of how the Indian household, modern Indian household is actually looking like when we are talking about the Zen X to Zen Alpha, and in terms of how it is influencing the buying decisions of the for us actually as a retailer. So I think first point would be very interesting to really understand from all of you and whoever wants to lead here in terms of household versus individual design. This is very interesting. This is looking at our customers, looking at our business and seeing whether are we really looking at customers at an individual level, or are we really looking at customers at a family or a household level? And hence, what are my practices? How is my company organized, business organized, technology organized to service that kind of a retail, customer footprint? And again, there are a lot of dimensions to this. We can really unpack on this point in a gradual manner. But it would be nice to know whether like I know there is a family organization or a retailer like like Naidu Hall, for example, who may have different generations of customer shopping, maybe together, maybe differently in terms of the customer footfalls which is happening, and whether your businesses are really aligned to handle that kind of service levels to the customer, whether it's in product discovery or whether it is in terms of the buying decisions, and sometimes also in terms of fulfillment, basically. So yeah, it would be nice to go around the table on this topic, and if anyone wants to lead, it would be great. Anyone? Mr. Darpan,
Yeah,
we've been
only
looking
thing
at...
is all the experience and oldies are sitting here. Generation next, nobody's there to confront us.
Yes.
So whatever we'll speak, will not have a bouncer on that.
But I'm sure there will be experiences which others can also bring in and share. But yeah, capsules have been into the market for a very, very long time and working with different brands, portfolios, and different regions. So how do you see it, Mr.
See,
Darman?
just in the last session also, I said I want to go to basics.
Yeah.
Where retail is a retail. अगर हम दुकानदार हैं तो the only principle is to sell, nothing else. So we are working on it, wherein marketing on the floor level is reduced to zero. Experience at the floor level is going up. Make relationship, give customer what he wants, and do not speak too much about your other products. Don't speak about your schemes, promotions. Sir, ये ले लोगे तो ये मिलेगा, ये ले लोगे तो ये मिलेगा. Just cut this off. Reduce the timing at the billing station. Don't ask him his personal details. Don't ask him anything. But yes, of course, if the personal details are given with a one request, please go ahead for it. Otherwise, next request, don't do it. Don't ask for it. So what I'm also trying to say this, that of course, the next generation which is coming into retail, coming with more ideas, more this thing, and they are also important. Ignoring them would also be... So we have to have something balance between the real retail and then retail through AI or retail through data. Data is of course very important. On traditional retail also now the data is used through loyalty program, his buying pattern, his knowing this. So our purchases are all based on the data what we get. which store sells, which size sells in which state,
Yeah.
which color sells in which store and all, even which market. So AI is playing a different role, and sales staff or the at the consumer level, at the store level, they play a different role.
Right.
So online is a different game together. We can discuss this later.
But
Over
sir,
to you.
one key aspect of this point here is about: do you really track your customers in terms of individuals versus family? Like some of the retailers whom we work with across regions, they have this whole philosophy of cradle to grave. Like if I have a customer, I'm tracking the customer from childhood to, let's say, they till they grow older. But the whole point there is to be able to look at who's the influencer then, right? So it would be nice to hear your
So
thoughts.
just today morning only, when I took the flight, this gentleman and a lady sitting in next to a front seat.
Yeah, yeah.
The gentleman came to me and he said, "Are you Mr. Kapoor?" I said, "Yes." From Capsons. I said, "Yes." He said, "We've been shopping from your store since the childhood, and now our children's shopping is also done from it." So we have built that kind of a relationship with the customer.
Amazing.
All those retailers who are sitting out here with the who has been there in the retail from last 20 years. The only philosophy was build relationship. बंदा कमा लो, पैसे अपने आप आ जाएंगे.
Fantastic, fantastic. What a lovely thought. Anyone, Mr. Balaji, you want to add something?
Yeah, good evening. Hello. Yeah. Yeah, we are 86 years this year.
Wow.
Right? Yeah, the building trust and people, we have generations of people coming to us over and over again. But what paradigm shift, like now, we need to keep ourselves updated and adapted to the current trend, or else we wouldn't have survived these many years. But what we see as a huge difference now is the decision makers are not the parents anymore.
Yes.
Gen Zs have their own preferences, their own likes, dislikes, very strong, and the parents are not able to influence them in any ways, like vice versa.
Yeah.
So how do we adapt to that? How do we understand what they need? And they're very, I don't know for a better word, like they're very finicky in terms of what their likes and dislikes are.
Right.
So how do we adapt to that is the key to success in
challenge,
this
yes.
particular thing.
Yes.
So that is what we are also trying, and see we are predominantly a lingerie destination. So for lingerie, we're a multi-brand outlet.
Right.
So in that segment, what we are trying to do is say these Gen Zs need a guidance, need a thing over and above the digital thing where they see the content. Beyond that, touch and feel, the fit. Right. All these are all the areas where we train our sales staff to become fit and fashion consultant,
Right.
and we give a fit session, free fit session for them. So these are all the value additions which we feel is kind of adding value to them, and these are all the areas that we are moving and working on.
Fantastic. Thank you. Thank you. Anyone? Yeah,
Yeah.
please, sorry.
So I am from healthcare background, so Apollo Pharmacy, and we have more than 7,000 stores as of now across India.
Wow.
So that is the scale we are operating with, and it behaves very differently than what you all might be thinking about, and you know that.
Yes.
And for us, the older the better. So that is how, unfortunately, it works. But having said that, and the decision makers are not the customers for us, because a person cannot decide what medicine he wants to buy, and there is of course no impulse. Impulse is to the extent of OTC or wellness or supplements to that part, but then in the core categories there is no impulse or so scope for impulse. As I said, but the decision makers are not the people, it is the doctor. But having said that, the purchase decision, where to buy from, so these days the younger generation, they have a greater influence to them. So I see in, for example, Pune and Bangalore and many such cities, the especially the people from IT sector and all, they are working in those cities, and their parents are living in their native towns. So they are ordering medicines for them, or doing that kind of buying decisions sitting at their places. So that thing is very relevant
Absolutely.
in our industry.
Absolutely. You have got so many channels actually. I mean, you
Yeah.
not only physical and online, but your apps. Like you said, a family member is actually ordering for someone else. So whom do you target when you have to, let's say, open a new store, for example, in a particular demographic? So I think that really adds
Yeah,
up.
and
To
in that sense, the family gets involved.
yes, yes,
Per se,
yes.
in that sense, the entire family get involved in the buying
Right.
decision.
I still know that in my neighborhood chemist shop, where my family kind of frequents there for all the medicines, they would know Doshi's family. Okay, this is Doshi family, so they would exactly know. Okay, these are the things on a monthly basis would be shipped out to my household, basically. Yeah, great. Anyone else wants to add in thought? Rishabh, you have something?
Like this alpha generation is more AI based now.
Yes.
So and Gen Z, they are more digital now. This generation is come to purely on the AI based. So they are doing so many recommendations. They are before buying, they are seeing so many analysis. Then finally they can give the our recommendation to the parents also. We have to follow this one. And in a similar fashion, they are going for the family kind of not single. So they are you can say, if I'll take the example of loyalty, they don't want to go the single our mobile based. They want to okay, family based something loyalty should become,
Right.
and so at least we have a cumulative kind of benefit.
Right.
So these things are getting changed with the generation, in terms of expectation, in terms of their buying behavior, in terms of their thinking also.
Right, right. Actually, that's a good segue to the next point, which we have in terms of consistency across touch points, like you kind of mentioned, and it would be good to know both from business and tech point, where does consistency really break down most when customer moves across channels? I think this is something worth reflecting on, and really this is where experience of a brand or a retailer comes into play, right? So if I have a particular price point online, whether it's the same, if I'm going to shopping in any other channels, with marketplaces now, we are so much kind of used to looking at comparisons and all, and then take a decision. Price consistency, for example, could be the first trust point that whether it's really the consistent across different channels. Then I'm actually looking at who's the seller, even if it is on for a marketplace which we are buying. So it would be good to touch upon this topic. And Kunal, you have some thoughts there?
Yeah, I think for us, for most of the large retailers like us, this becomes one of the most crucial points, right? Because you're selling across multiple channels.
Yes.
You're selling online, offline, marketplaces, shop in shops,
Yeah.
for every possible combination, right? Distributors.
Yes.
So over there, this becomes one of the most important things, because you want to have the right promotion, the right sales price across every single channel. Along with that, what becomes very, very important is also the customer experience,
Yep.
right, of the product and the ethos that what that product really stands for.
Yep.
That's one of the reasons why we're moving out of having a single platform like an N now and moving into individual websites for each of the
Right.
product, because you want to give a different experience for US Polo vis-a-vis a flying machine, or
Yeah.
a Calvin Klein or a PVH, for example,
Yeah.
right? So it's very different from that perspective, and it needs to be frictionless
Yeah.
across
Yeah.
all the platforms at the same time. So that's very, very important to have that experience in place. And in all of this, if I can bring the inventory part into play, the most crucial part, right?
Yep.
Having the right product at the right place, at the right time, across channels, and having the understanding of what's available where.
Yeah.
Not just in that channel, but also if I go to the store, if I don't find it, do I have the capabilities in the store to recommend the customer to either move to another store,
Yeah.
or have an endless aisle
Yeah.
within my store to give
Yeah.
that option,
Absolutely.
right?
Absolutely.
So staying connected with the customer at any point of time,
Yeah.
engaging and making sure that you're converting a lost sale into an actual sale,
Yeah.
is very, very important. So yeah.
Absolutely.
The trust plays a very important
very
part.
interesting. I visited a lot of the stores of the brands which you called out.
Yeah.
I always wonder, does the store team actually has the visibility of what's the online content, or I think that's something which we always,
Yeah.
from an IT point of view, that's our wish list should be consistent. But do you see any challenges there?
I think most of the retailers face that challenge
Yeah.
today. And I think everyone's still working on that journey, to be very honest. I don't think anyone's really cracked it completely.
Yeah.
Most of them, have worked on data warehouses
Yeah. Data lake.
individually.
Yeah.
Everyone's now trying to move towards a data lake, a single data lake across all brands,
Yeah.
and get that end-to-end understanding of the customer. See, also, you have to understand when you have multiple brands, right, at different price points, which customer keeps moving from which price point to the other. That becomes very important.
Yep.
If I'm in college, probably flying machine works for me because it's a little cheaper. But as I start working, my aspirations change.
Yep.
So I move to a US Polo.
There you go.
And then at some point of time, I want to have a Calvin Klein or a Tommy Hilfiger.
Yeah.
Am I understanding that customer and his journey over a period of time and engaging him constantly? Even if I'm moving out from one brand, am I moving him to another brand and keeping him
Still your
within
customer.
my-
Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
So that's the other important part, and for that it's very important to capture the customer details well and keep engaging.
Yeah.
So customer data becomes very, very important.
Yeah. Absolutely.
But the biggest challenge is now also going to be around DPDP
Yeah.
going ahead. So that's going to be one thing that all retailers will have to be very mindful about.
Yeah.
Of what do you capture and how do you utilize the data at the right time.
Absolutely. I think that's.
Here
going
I
to
would
be-
like to add something
Please.
to Kunal. They have done an excellent job in converting their stores in online sales, marketplace.
Thank you.
I've seen so many brands. I have 2 outlet stores in Sangrur.
Okay.
From there, 60 to 70% sale is online.
Wow.
And what they have done is a very smart thing. I'll not disclose it out there, but they have done a very smartly. They have done the online this
Oh, fantastic.
without disturbing without affecting the
Yeah.
offline retail experience.
Oh, great.
There are 2 different things working
Yeah.
together.
But coming to the consistency aspect, generally, what is a normal complaint or a usual complaint you would find from a customer when it comes to consistency between online offline? Is anyone wants to share on that? Sorry, Pushkar. Yeah, Pushkar.
Yeah. Of course. Thank you. Yes, I'm taking it.
Yeah, Pushkar.
Offline and online, only
Yeah.
the price factor will very much effective.
Yeah.
Okay. Just for the adding for him, what he has said, 2023, we have started online.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, online is giving 12% contribution to my wholesale.
Wow. Okay. That's
Earlier
great.
just started. Only because of targeting Gen Zs.
Okay.
They believe in speed and trend. Okay.
Right.
Only because of that we have started and we have getting it.
Right. Right.
Okay. Otherwise, we focus to the family.
Right. Oh, great.
Okay. And based on that, for my reason, which I am handling for last 5 years continuous, I am giving 15 plus growth.
Wow. It's
Okay.
fantastic.
So after that, once we have analyzed the okay, fine, we have to catch this Gen Zs also. So we have hired influencers also.
Of course. Yes.
Okay. So they are also giving a good result to us.
Right. 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 Fantastic. Fantastic.
These things
Fantastic.
are happening.
Great.
I would
Anyone-
like to add one thing.
Yes,
on-
please.
Right now, the biggest problem is honest pricing.
Honest?
Pricing.
Oh, okay.
Customer is really confused with what is a real price of a product. The moment it is launched, there is a discount. So sales staff also is not very sure whether he is selling the product at the right price, which is gonna reduce in 2 weeks' times or not.
Right.
So honest pricing is the biggest issue now.
Right, right, absolutely. I think we had done at ETP also, we had done some research. This is about a year back or so. And we looked at different touch points which the customer journey has with you as a brand or retailer. We had touched upon about 30 odd touch points, pre-shopping, shopping, post-shopping. And in this, one of the biggest factors was what you just now highlighted in terms of pricing and really, honest pricing. And it's a very well put actually. But yes, I think customer journey when it comes to the pre-shopping experience, whether it is looking at your websites, your marketplace, looking at the product discovery which is happening online. And I think most of the Gen Zs are actually doing the online discovery first and then only deciding whether they'll buy. And we were discussing, Neve and me, that most of the things which he would buy, let's say from a Uniqlo brand in Singapore, would be must a repeat purchase for him actually. And we were trying to figure out why. I mean, I was trying to figure out. He knew already because he's shopping. So I think that's something, that's a pattern which is now emerging very, very, very clearly actually. So whether it's a product discovery part or in-store or online channel, when the customer is on your web store, how the product is visible, how the product contents are displayed to them, it makes a huge difference in terms of the building the brand trust and the credibility for them to take a buying decision basically. So this was a very interesting research. I'll just move to point 3 actually, which is again very interesting in terms of responding at peak intent. I think you got the customer, you understand what customer is trying to buy, but is your processes, sorry, you have something to
Yeah, so
mention.
on the second point of
Yeah.
what Mr. Darshan Kapoor just mentioned on the honest pricing, sir.
Yeah.
Now, talking about my brand, which is called as Neo Stretch, I am the newest kid on the block wherein, I started retailing probably as late as 6 months back. And that is where coming from the, the good household, which is say Donia Group, and that is where we are trying to build a brand in the price bracket of say about premium positioning. We are calling ourselves as affordable luxury. Now, why I'm touching upon this honest pricing point, this point is basically if you see any startup brand right now in the market, they come in the the market calling themselves as the honest pricing, and so are we calling them ourselves as the honest pricing. If you benchmark our product, which is like very high stretch apparel versus any of the the legacy old brand, for example the brands which probably he is having in his portfolio, if at all there is some amount of high stretch garments which are there as part of his portfolio, the average ASP is going to be much higher, probably as 50-60% higher than what I am actually kind of offering in the market. And if you see that the lens from what it is being sold, a very like-to-like product versus what I am as a new brand trying to offer that product as a, I am calling myself as a the probably an honest pricing brand. But having said that, cut to USS kind of a month wherein entire brand and that entire mall is under offer, and there comes the dilemma. Should I continue to hold on to my the promise which says you continue to be honest, don't give any kind of a discount, and therefore don't get any customers walking inside your store. That is exactly the confrontation which we are probably facing as late as last month wherein EOSS happened. And initially for 15 days we were like, we will not give any kind of a discounting. Suddenly the sale levels which it was happening fallen drastically down. And there as a retail probably guy seeing this business for last almost 20 years, I mean, you have your fixed costs which are already built into that store. You cannot allow, people to just look at your store, be praiseworthy about it that these guys are real honest guys, but they are not coming inside and shopping to us. So that was the real challenge which we faced, and initially we decided that like we cannot go to that level of say about 50-60% kind of a discounting, but we will however have to go with the flow of the the customers and the overall play which is happening in the market in terms of USS discounting which is happening. And that is where on a very probably I would say a very conscious call, we ended up giving some bit of discounting in terms of at least luring the customer inside the store to explain it to. So again, these are the real hard fact challenges which are sitting in the market. Any brand calling themselves as honest pricing had to fall in that trap of the EOSS cycles, and then you have all the offers which are going on for this 12 months kind of a cycle.
That's the ecosystem we
Yeah.
are dealing with here, right? And I think we are all either adding to it or trying to simplify it actually, I would say, in that sense. But yeah, understand. I think new stretch seems to be quite promising though.
Yeah.
So I'm sure one more USS and you've seen the whole year through and finalize your strategy on pricing and promotions there. But yeah, sorry, there is a response from,
Yeah,
I can see that.
Don't be emotional with your inventory. With your product, you don't. The faster it goes out of your system is better.
Exactly.
So you act smartly. There will be only 4 to 6 winner styles, and 4 styles will never get a customer or will get lesser customer. The moment you have inventory which is moving slow, start discounting it even in the middle of the season. And broken sets and sold out stocks should be discounted immediately and flushed out.
Right.
Don't keep it.
Right.
In
Sorry,
our,
yes, ma'am.
in our case, the slight thought process was that we were trying to project ourselves as a core kind of a brand. Now in India, core brand as a concept in itself is like a very challenging kind of a concept. Like you cannot have something which is lying on the floor for almost about 12 months. And that is where, that is again coming as a challenge for us.
Selling, we buy what to sell, and we manage our overall stock with 90 days, 60 days at the store and 30 days in the warehouse.
Very
So
impressive.
we've been doing that. So as a brand policy, we don't want to, and customers do value that.
Yeah,
Meaning,
absolutely.
whenever we have an end of like an anniversary sale, which once a year, we get a huge footfall. Just for that 15 days, we do. We don't do. Our marketing is also only through what SMSs and WhatsApp,
WhatsApp.
or influencer marketing.
Right.
So people do recognize that, yes, but it is tough. There is a bit of dead stock. We try to clear that during our anniversary sale.
Very, very interesting when you mentioned about for selling at full price. One of our customers into apparel, own brand manufacturer, we were having one of the project meetings where we were implementing a solution, and a merchant wanted to discuss on promotions management. And we said we can do so many things and all. But then no, I don't want to do promotions. Tell me how I'll do full price sale.
Pricing.
Let's talk about that. Let's talk about 1 hour on that and maybe 15 minutes on what you want to do on your promotion. So I think that's the key when it comes to being a brand owner. How you retain and restore your ethics of your brand and the way you've looked at it. Yes, you have to tailor it to the regions and to the markets. But I think core principle there still remains that you're a brand owner, and then how do you look at increasing the value there for the customers? You mentioned about 15 days of anniversary sales, and I'm sure that 15 days would be a peak footfall for you. The next topic which leads in here is in terms of actually managing the peak intent. Whether it's the EOSS or whether it's the anniversary sales like what you mentioned. When customer intent is the highest, and whether it's online also. Many a times it's 11/11 sale, 12/12, and we've seen that across the markets actually. This is one of the biggest challenges we have seen retailers have, where they possibly have an order, but they're not able to fulfill in time, for example. Or, the product reaches after the season is, or let's say a Diwali period is there, and, after the Diwali day is over, the delivery happens. Those are the challenges which we all deal with. So it will be good to know, how at an organization level, for example, let's say a very simple basic stuff, and then we can go deeper on that. Like, can store access an online order if a customer is really there at the store? Can they really fulfill the order, and can they really make an instant decision? And then, the lead up to that is actually how do you organize your merchandise, your inventory, and so on to meet those demands. And those demands, we will always have a cycle there, right? Business cycle there. So, yeah, sorry, go ahead, Kunal.
I think we're doing a good job on that
Yeah.
one, and it's good to have a good sponsor right here, one of the largest customers of ours saying that I'm doing a good job. So I think that makes my job that much easier. But we're getting better. So I think in the next 3 months you'll be a more happier customer on that part. Look, I think nobody likes USS.
Yeah.
Right? Every retailer, when he plans for an USS, it's a headache, right? Because you're losing margins. That's number one. You really want to plan for the big ticket days like your Diwalis or Independence Day or Ugadi or whatever else,
Yeah.
right? That's where you want to actually sell your customer products at full price and have a happy customer. Most of the investments or tech should really be around supply chain,
Yeah.
number one, and really merchandising and planning well,
Right.
right? Making sure you're really merchandising your products for the right stores, in
Yeah.
the right regions, etc. And truly giving the omni-channel experience.
Yep.
That's number one. You need to have stores who are happy doing their own sales, but at the same time create that healthy environment where if I don't have it, I go and recommend it to the next store, And that store could be a Coco or it could be a Fofo or anyone else, right? Because you don't want to lose the customer. That should be the important purpose of the whole thing, not whether it's my sales or it's an online thing or whatever. And also figure out how your margins are going to work. So even if the online sales comes to my stores, is my store getting credit for that?
There you go. Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, it's that end touch point which counts, right? Are you implementing endless aisle very well in the store?
Yeah.
How well are you training your stores in terms of the tech that's implemented? And that could be another very, very important reason which I have seen failing a lot of times, that you've implemented tech, but it's not trickled down the chain, right? And it becomes even more difficult because of the attrition rate that most of the retailers face. In the offline channels. So making sure your retail operations, your tech, all of these players are very well aligned in the business. It's very, very important.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Anyone wants to add? I think one of the key challenges is inventory in all this, like you said about supply chain, and it would be good to know, because the big driver for ensuring that when customer wants it, it is available, is your availability. It's your inventory piece, actually. Anything anyone wants to share in terms of how do you decode this actually in terms of getting it right? Yes, merchandise planning is important. Your companies and brands which are having fashion products, there is a pre-season planning, there is an OTB, there is always a financial control around it, but you still need to get the merchandise on the shelf, in the store, in your warehouse. When the order is there, you have to still fulfill it. It's almost like crystal ball gazing, right? You get 6 months in advance, 7 months in advance you are planning. But you still need to be responsive during the season, during the time when the sale is really happening. And I was really curious to know, how do you manage your peak footfalls that time when the anniversary sale happens, and it must be times 3, times 4, or maybe more on an average. So anything different you do that time?
Yeah, we do. Am I audible?
Yeah.
We do pick up our purchases also during the anniversary sale. But normally, what you see for us in south of India, it's just 2 seasons. One is summer and one is Diwali. Luckily, that way. So we need to buy in bulk during that, and we have now come to a point where our first purchase during that season is of say month and a half, and after that we go on a weekly purchase based on whatever is moving. So we are trying to catch up on the trend, and we buy in a smaller quantities. That is one of the reasons why our dead stock is also much lesser. So we don't predict as much as saying, and when we buy with our, that is more of the art part with our merchandise, is buying what they feel that will sell in a smaller volume, and we move on a weekly basis with a centralized warehouse. Whatever gets sold in that particular week, kind of we buy that, like how the gold is done, right? So we kind of buy on that frequency. Obviously, for the peak seasons, for Diwali and for our anniversary sale, our volumes are built up quite a bit.
Yes, of course.
And that gets or adjusted, even if something gets slowed, that gets adjusted as we keep buying more frequently is what we are doing.
Right. You also do a lot of online business.
Well, online is a very small percentage because we are a multi-brand outlet, and we buy from several different, so we have more than 1,000 vendors in terms of fashion products, right? But online is with our own brand lingerie. So that is the only thing that we sell on online.
About online, the biggest, when we talk to our customers during implementation, one of the big things we kind of reflect on is most of them have a thought process of ring fencing inventory for their e-commerce, for their online. They are not really having a common pool of inventory where it could be sold across channels as and when the demand is. It would be good to know about, how do you really tackle this in terms of not ensuring that you don't overstock for e-commerce, at the same time you get the inventory available for your offline or other channels as and when, the footfall or the demand happens there. Anyone is facing that challenge today in the business? Sorry, go ahead.
I'm a reasonably big player in online also.
Sure.
Bestseller, Pepe, Numero, they are about 10, 12 brands, Paragon, Bata, All these I do through marketplace.
Okay.
Online is 1% of your total inventory.
Right.
So you have to have a large number, not that 10,000, 20,000, until unless you do not have 50, 60,000 plus units on
Yeah.
online of a brand,
Yeah.
numbers do not come.
Right.
So if anybody wants is to be there in online, has to have a large capacity to stock the goods, warehousing, and experience and expertise how to tackle the, not how to sell, but how to manage the returns.
Right. Yeah. That is also another
I'm
big
open
challenge.
for discussion with anyone who wants to come in online business. I have cracked all the channels in all the loopholes in online, how to process the return, where are the issues, and how to make money out of returns also.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. Anything, Pushkar, you want to add?
I totally agree with him.
Sorry, your mic, I think, is not working. Yeah.
I totally agree with him
Yeah.
because we have started definitely after opening the Omni channels and sales. The return is making something very furious
Yeah.
what to do or not to do.
So if you are not experienced in online, you cannot make money. You
No.
lose
Yeah.
money in your claims.
Yeah.
Now they have further tightened it out that there was 14 days window to claim your loss. Now it is 7 days window.
Yeah. That's even shorter.
So within 7 days you have to produce them, give them reverse and forward videos.
Right.
Until unless you do not produce, they do not give you claim.
Right. 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 That's even more challenging,
Yeah,
I would say.
that's
So
more.
the Bhavesh, I can say that here the scope of work for you.
Yeah, of course. That's true. Just moving on, I just want to quickly go to the next topic here, which is a bit interesting for me, and I'm sure it will be good to hear from a brand perspective. Innovation versus core limitations. Actually, when we talk about how core systems are, whether it slows down innovation in your business, I think this would be interesting to know. A lot of you are into your own brands, your own product. And do you see this? And the second part is, when a new initiative is added, you know, do you see that adding to agility or from a tech point of view, adding to a technical debt? Because I think looking at the way the customer buying patterns have changed and are dynamic in today's day and age, when you also innovate on product, on your process, on your organization, capabilities, I'm sure this kind of challenge may be there for your organizations when you are talking about scaling, growing, whether it's in terms of geography or product range which you're offering. You must be, innovating in different ways. Do you see that? What are the bottlenecks basically in that actually? So it would be good to hear from your perspectives. You want to add anything?
See, I think for any tech to come in, you need to have an ROI in place.
Yes.
Most importantly, right? I think a lot of times you can't get into the FOMO of just adding a tech because everyone else is doing around you. It's very important to make sure that you're adding tech which is going to add value in terms of your organization's capabilities, initiative,
Yeah.
strategy, long-term roadmap, etc. Right? And then it's very very simple, right? Because if you're working with your business partners and your function heads,
Yeah.
right? If the ROIs is put in place and you know exactly what you're going to get out of it, then investments become that much simpler.
Yeah.
A lot of times you simply do not have the tech, or you have a tech which is very half-hearted, which is not really solving the purpose end to end,
Yeah.
right? So then moving out of that, getting new age tech is, I think it's very easy.
Yeah.
But you need to have the business sponsorship and you need to make sure that it's not IT who's driving
Yeah.
the tech.
Yeah. It's a business.
You can be the
actually.
enabler.
Yes.
You can be the driver for it,
Yeah.
but you cannot owe it.
Yeah.
And you should not owe it, rather. As far as it's the business who's signing it off and making sure it's working and they are responsible for it, I think you're sorted.
Fantastic. But you see, when it comes to tech, let's say, I mean, we in the last 1 year probably I've made maybe 50 different presentations to retailers and e-commerce where their ask was AI-based product recommendation. A very small, simple topic being floating around for ages now, I mean, I feel.
Yeah.
But when it comes to real implementation, the business acceptance of that, uh, it's always a challenge. Challenge in terms of not that they don't know how AI will work. It's just that whether I trust it, whether I have that, wherewithal within my business team to be able to understand, and enable it at the ground level. Sorry,
AI,
yeah.
agent,
I think Jyoti has
AI,
something to add.
all
Yeah.
fancy terms,
Yeah.
right? At the end of the day, what does it do? It
Yeah.
solves a business problem,
Yeah.
right? If you've not understood what that is and what are you trying to solve, no tech in the world can help you.
Okay.
We work on multiple business cases today, right? And
Yeah.
we're trying to put a lot of agentic AI into place, a lot of RPA bots into place for automation and
Yeah.
things like that, right? But if you've not put down the process and if you do not know what is the end result of it,
Yeah.
it's never going to help. So, there are a lot of CXOs who come in and they hear something and now you've got your chat GPT and perplexity and everyone types in and, 50 fancy things come out of it. The next thing, they just want to ask questions without even understanding what it means for them.
Yeah.
Right? So you have to draw that line somewhere between what is your aspiration to just go and tell the world I'm doing this and what you actually need.
Yeah.
And that is where the problem is. If you've not drawn that line, you will have 100 projects that you're running together and not succeeding in any.
Yeah.
Or you're doing 10 focused projects
Yeah.
and you succeed in all.
Yeah.
So that's where you kind of draw the line and make sure you've got the right investments in place and
Yeah.
you success.
Right
more
business
successful in
sponsorship
what
to
you
it,
do. Yeah,
basically.
absolutely, 100.
Jyoti, you wanted to add something?
Hello.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
So I'm from legal. Okay. Unlike you, my thoughts are different, of course. So on the innovation part, what I've seen is one, of course, the use case. Sometimes, if it is not clearly defined, I
Yeah.
agree with you, sir, that if you are really not convinced that this is a use case that we need to address our business problem, then we tend to go wrong.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about cases like, again, I don't want to be quoting any particular project.
Yeah.
But when we have a definite use case, I'll also tell you what happens today. There are innumerable vendors today
Yeah.
outside there wanting to sell you, and when you tell them what is the use case that you have. But what I've seen is one such thing came to me, and then I said, no, we should really encourage.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Whatever, let's look at risk and we should do it. But when we gave some business, I myself gave some solutions, saying this is how we can mitigate risk. If these risks are mitigated, I think you guys can still go ahead with it. But what I noticed was the vendor himself didn't have the capability,
Right.
or sometimes didn't have the understanding of the risk that he was dealing with.
Right.
I've seen that.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay? And we are telling them, we are tutoring him, telling him, this is how you can perhaps, mitigate risk. It took a very long time for us to coach him, convince him,
Yeah.
and engage him, which was the other way around.
Other way around. You onboarded him, actually.
Yes, we onboarded him, right? And in that whole process, sorry to say the onboarding still has not happened because it's going on and on. A
Right.
thing that was supposed to be onboarded 3 months back is still, hanging in the air.
Right.
It's only because somewhere somebody wants to make it happen, but there is no readiness or lack of, readiness on the
Right.
other side.
I-
So,
yeah.
answering your questions, such are the cases where
Yes.
systems are slowed down.
Yeah.
Because, like somebody else otherwise would have just simply said, oh, come on, I would have done this by actually doing this shoot on the place and stuff
Yeah.
like that. Why did you ask us to do all of these things?
Right.
Right? Somebody who thinks traditionally would have.
I think one of the
Got
things
really
which we see,
tired.
Jyoti, to your point and to add to what Kunal mentioned, is when we are bringing in any innovation, I think the key is how simplified it is. I think there is always a business case to start with sometimes, but sometimes you have to simplify it for the business to a granular level so that the adoption becomes easier and onboarding becomes easier, because it's very easy. I mean, it's always a challenge. There will always be a resistance to change when we're talking about, handling let's say a customer who is an in store. You want to, increase your UPT by X percentage. You want to have your ASPs increased. There are various, strategies at a CXO level you would want to implement, and it's already planned. But then at the front end, whether it's getting executed, okay, with the tech, with the information, with the processes, or whether it's getting diluted, that's where the challenge lies when it comes to, actually execution part. Here, of course, the thought here to share with everyone was, if I'm introducing anything new, whether it fits into my core, whether the core goes through a change in terms of the overall, go-to market, so as to say, and how do you actually enable that? And I'm sure this will keep every 6 months you will come up with something new, which will be, maybe radical, may not be radical, but we have to be in tune to what's happening in the market there. So yeah, I think I've just got a 5-minute closure time now. So just a closure, I mean, last point, and we can probably wrap up after this in terms of future readiness and core evolution. So we can keep it a little bit more round. We can go around the table in terms of, how do you see the retail core evolve fast enough, and looking at the various generations of customers which you are addressing in your product portfolio or brand portfolio, and what is it that one thing you feel in next 2 to 3 years will help, or that's the alignment which you are looking at in terms of servicing your customers. So basically future readiness is what would be good to know, and maybe we can just do a quick couple of minutes. We with Balaji first.
Yeah, we need to constantly keep updating and adapting. Currently, the change has been, in the 85 years, the organization must have seen quite a lot of changes, but the only difference now is the fast, at the pace at which the change is happening.
Yeah.
And the next gen being the biggest challenge for all of us. But what we are also doing is we are see the offering to the next generation in terms of the product, in terms of the service, in terms of the content, in terms of even the ambience, overall shopping experience. Everything needs to be upgraded.
Right.
But keeping in mind that is a smaller percentage of your whole overall customer profile, you cannot become irrelevant to your existing customer. So that is something we need to be very, very cautious in doing. And tech plays a very, very important role, especially with the AIs and all those things. So how do you balance all these things without losing out on your current customer profile? Obviously, you need to add on the new ones also.
Absolutely.
So that is something we are all grappling with today.
Great. Thank you, Balaji. Rishabh?
So, anyway, we need to finalize the tech for the long-term basis, at least for the 2-3 years, which we are going to decide for the organization, and need to be focused on the customer, who is your actually customer. Like example, today we are talking about the alpha, so we have to accordingly we have to provide their experience also. Because alpha, if something is looking like they are more in the gamification, they are more in the digital, they are more in the AI, they are more in the trial. So we, target the customer. Based on that customer, you need to decide the tech. And anyway, backend infra is always required, like demand, supply chain. You need to you have to take a call based on the your business team, the common digital literacy, because we have to see their digital literacy also very important. We can finalize n number of tech, we can give n number of tech, but if the team is not able to handle it, they are not digitally literate to handle, all the tech is going to be fail.
Yeah, that's true.
This is my submission. From my side, all systems can work properly if business can be helped and they can use properly, and it is get configured properly.
Sure. Great. Sir?
So my take would be that if you are an offline player, be expert in offline. If you are online player, be expert in online. If you try to become online player through offline this thing, the moment you will make your inventory live, stockouts will happen.
Yeah.
so then the whole thing goes waste. Or you have to be a creator of a brand wherein from the inception you have the control. You can do cataloging the day the designs are, the production is made and the photographs are clicked. So there you can do it, but if you are an MBO player, don't touch on it.
Great. Thank you. Jyoti, anything you want to add?
So a couple of things from my end. One is the way I look at it is, if you look at this whole revamping holistically,
Yeah.
then perhaps you will move much faster, though it might look really overwhelming. Otherwise, if you start looking at it in bits and pieces, trying to put jigsaw puzzles together,
Yeah.
perhaps you will have more bottlenecks along the way.
Yeah.
And the second thing is, you know, it's important for us to understand the risks even before we get into it, instead of solving it later or whenever it comes. Like, saying it, okay, let's take it by the year.
Yeah.
I don't think the emerging techs will give you the luxury of time to do that. You
Right.
need to think now.
Right.
And that's why one has to be very careful about not getting trapped in FOMO,
Yeah.
which I would say that, like somebody was saying, sorry, I'll take just
Yeah, yeah.
30 seconds more. Somebody said, like, I want build a website, but I want AI into it. Meaning, why?
Right.
Really, do you need AI? Do you really need ML? Do you need some traditional, AI? What exactly do you need?
Right.
The thought clarity has to be there instead of simply saying, okay, I'm going to miss the bus.
Right, right. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Thank
That's
you.
a good view from council perspective, legal perspective. Thank you, Jyoti. Pushkar, Pushkar, go ahead, Pushkar.
So my submission will be that now that if you are focusing to Gen Zs too much,
Yeah.
it will be very costly, and because their mind is very frequently change.
Okay.
Okay, and if we are changing according to them, na, it is costly affair,
That's
and it is
interesting.
not fair, fruitful for us.
Yeah.
Because after the certain age factor is also depend.
Yeah.
Once they will cross the Gen Z and become a millennial, na, then the behavior will also change.
Right, of course.
However, definitely AI and the future is coming, technology coming, this will affect us.
Yes.
But definitely, frequently change, focusing on Gen Zs only, it is costly affair.
Right.
So must to be avoided, but we have to do it in little matter.
Sure. Great. Thank you, Pushkar. Swell.
Yeah. So, see, customer is no doubt evolving at a very faster
Absolutely.
rate and pace. We do not have any option to say no to that. We have to talk to the customer in the channel which the customer wants to talk to us. We do not have an option or luxury of saying no. That is what I feel in this matter. Having said that, I think one of the key takeaway from the morning's keynote address of Mr. Damodar Mall was that we carry a lot of baggage due to our experience. We
Yeah.
really have to keep that aside and think very fast, try different things. Organizations have to try new things. Maybe some of them may fail,
Yeah.
but we have to keep on continuously investing in new tech, new people who are tech savvy to evolve and cope up with the change.
Yeah. Agility without complexity. If I have to use this word. Yeah, please, Saurabh.
For us, I think we are I'm pretty sure in terms of our business model that we are going to be offline heavy, and that is where our entire brick and mortar is going to be bread and butter.
Yeah.
And we at the same time we also understand that online is there to kind of complement it and to make it omni thing. We will do whatever it takes to make us relevant player.
Yeah.
But having said that, our thought process is very clear from the day one that we want to be offline first, and that is where all our tech intervention, everything is going to be majorly falling into place. We are also evaluating the RFID, for example, and all of that, and we've started off the business with having those tags in the very first place.
Right.
The only thing is that we've not started using it so far and doing the cost benefit analysis so far. But yes, mindful of the technology, but very clear on our thought process and the strategy of operations.
Great. Yeah. Great. Kunal?
I have a very different thought process. I think you need to have your core in place, but also evaluate your core again.
Yeah.
Whether it's future ready, whether it's scalable, whether it's agile enough to work with the new tech coming in. I don't think you have a choice to ignore a Gen Z or a Gen Alpha.
Yeah.
That is the future. That is the way to go. You can't ignore your social medias. You can't ignore anything else in
Yeah.
today's day and age. 6 months back, a year back, nobody talked about quick commerce, and here
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah,
Now
absolutely.
we're talking about conversational commerce, and that's also on its way now, right?
Yes.
In the next 1 or 2 years, everyone's going to be doing that.
Right.
So you have to be future ready, and you have either you come into the game and say, I'm going to not lead it and be second and third and see how others are doing it,
Yeah.
or you go ahead, you lead it, and take that risk.
Right.
But not saying that I won't work in this channel or not doing something I don't think it's an option.
It's a choice now.
More importantly, whatever tech you do, I think the governance around it is important, because
Yeah.
you can put all the tech in the world. If you do not have the business who's ready to use the tech,
Yeah.
then that's a failure.
Yeah.
So that conversation is very important within the organization, that I've invested this, but who's using it?
Yeah, absolutely.
That governance is the most important.
Absolutely. Thank you, Kunal. Thank you, everyone, for such an open discussion, and really appreciate your time and inputs. I'm sure all of us have gained your some or the other insights in terms of how to improve our business, customer engagement, the whole, Gen X to Gen Alpha. I think it's the topic will keep kind of, we have to keep revisiting this and keep realigning. I think agility and, keeping it very simple is going to probably be the key. And overall, a unified experience of your brand to your customers. I think that probably will help all of us to be able to, gain more market share, more revenue. So thank you very much once again.